through the fire and the flames, through the trials and the tribulations, through the never-ending rain of bombs. 2 players have managed to survive until the very end, but only one of them can be the last one standing. Greetings everyone and welcome to the finals of BomTag Championships Ultimate, the $1,000 BomTag tournament. Our 2 finalists that will duke out for the grand prize are BomberPenguKing and Flyerkid. Even though they both had a relatively easy path to the finals, I think they both deserve to be here. One of them is the reigning champion of the previous tournament, and the other is a generally speaking very strong player. Will the reigning champion take another championship title on their name? Or will Flyerkid dethrone them and take the championship title for their own? We'll let the game speak on that front. May the finals begin. The finals are here. The finals have arrived. This is a best of 9, which means the first player to reach 5 wins this time will be crowned the winner and also the champion of BomTag Championships Ultimate. Our 2 finalists are BomberPenguKing at the top left, and her opponent is Flyerkid on the bottom right. Both of these players are playing for the grand prize, which is $1,000 and also a free trip to Kazakhstan. This is going to be a very interesting finale because, first of all, BomberPenguKing is known to be a very defensive player that doesn't mind going to sudden death, and she doesn't mind playing the very long game. Also, she doesn't do a lot of kicking, she just loves to draw her simple patterns and then let their opponent be their own undoing. But Flyerkid has been becoming a lot more defensive recently. So, I see. Flyerkid, I did notice that Flyerkid was being a little bit more aggressive this time compared to what he normally does. He can play aggressively, but he can also do pretty well in the defense. And he has been going all out on the defense this tourney. So, assuming that Flyer is gonna be going all out on defense once again in this match, then this might be a really long finals. So strap in, strap in, get some popcorn, we're in for what is likely going to be a pretty long finals. But we shall see how it ends. Flyer in the previous game did have a slight miscalculation of some sort. Maybe the nerves got to him. This is the finals and they are playing for quite a hefty prize at the very end, so it is expected for the players to have at least some nerves in them. You must stay in calm if you want to defeat your opponent and claim the victory. I did have some nerves in my match. I hope to not have a repeat of that in this match. Usually whenever I play my matches, I add commentary to it live. I did not add live commentary to mine, which ended up being my downfall. I am not good under pressure, and I cannot imagine what these 2 players must be going through right now. Both of these players likely also feeling all the pressure in the world, wanting to do as well as possible when all is on the line. And when any mistakes you have and any games you lose are all permanent from this point onwards. Both of these players seem to be very, very scared. Well, not scared, but very afraid. Very held back. None of them are doing aggressive stuff. BomberPengu is keeping her distance, sliding away from places as well, and Flyer seems to be the one that wants to put on a bit more pressure. but also doesn't want to commit full on. Especially now that it's sudden death. This is the third sudden death of this series, and I expect to be there at least quite a few sudden death games. Since BomberPengu is not afraid to go there, and Flyerkid seems to also be preferring the sudden death ways. Oh, and that was a good move by Flyer, getting Pengu there. That was well played. Pengu was paying too much attention to the sudden death bombs and not enough attention to what Flyer could possibly do by kicking the bombs around, and that ended up being Pengu's death. I guess I can talk a little bit about the prize for this tournament. It is $1,000 right now, but it was not $1,000 the entire time. Kanto, the founder of this tournament, started off by saying that he wants to create a tournament and the prize would be $300. But the prize started rising as it came closer and closer to the tournament time. It went from being $300 to then being $400, and the winner of both 2v2 and 1v1 gets an additional $100. It then turned into being $400, and the winner of 2v2 gets an additional $100, so $500 total. Then it ended up being $500 and $100 extra for the 2v2 winner if they win both. And then it went to being this. There was also a little extra prize where Kanto wanted to have a dinner call with someone, a video call with the winner to hear about their thoughts, an interview of sorts where they eat dinner and see each other's faces or something like that. Interview with Prince Kanto himself. I don't know if he's still gonna do it. But one thing I know what will be done is that Flyer will be trying a little bit too aggressive strategies against someone that is really good at dodging and staying out of the way. Flyer is trying to put on some pressure, but that's not working out for him really well so far. Seems like Pengu is really all out on the defense. It is good to mix and match a little bit though. You don't want to become predictive and then let your opponent predict your moves and then you lose that way. Although it is difficult one way or another to predict your opponent in a game like this where everything is so hectic and moving so fast. But yeah, the grand prize, the second grand prize, which is a trip to Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan for 1 week for 2 people. That is a prize that Kanto decided. Oh, Flyer, I think Flyer was actually safe there. He didn't need to move, but he wanted to be safe just in case. I think BomberPengu is missing some flame or something like that. Maybe. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe she already got it as well. I'm not. Oh yeah, she is definitely missing flame. I did feel like that should have worked for Flyer, but Pengu was missing a bit of flame. But now she is all full up again. This is now an even match. Of course, the trip to Nur Sultan. Okay, now Pengu is maxed out. She was missing one more flame. She had flame deprivation. The trip to Kazakhstan is of course optional, since you know it is this year is a year it exists. It's you don't want to go outside too much. But if the player wants, they can do that. We'll see if anyone decides to go there if they do end up winning this tournament. Both these players are being really careful, especially Pengu. And another sudden death game. The last one was won by Flyer by doing a good move. Will it go in Flyer's favor this time once again? Or will Pengu pull it back and have a sudden death win of her own? Sudden death bombs can be very unpredictable sometimes. Like you can see it, but it could be a last second dodge, and that's never a good time, especially if you want to avoid doing mistakes. A lot of the sudden death games end up being a game about mistakes and attention. The bombs can really spawn anywhere. You want to put pressure upon your opponent, you don't want to sit around and do nothing, because, you know, there may be a win condition in this game where if you don't kill your opponent, then your opponent is not gonna die. But also, there is a lose condition where if you don't play well, you're just gonna lose anyway. Oh! And Pengu gets gotten once again there. So far, this is turning out to be very exciting. It's now 2-2 between the two. This is now effectively a best of 5. Flyer last count. Yeah, it's a long series. I expect this to go all games likely. Flyer is good at dodging. Flyer is good at putting on some aggression at least. But Bomber is also really good at staying alive. And even though Bomber has not been surviving the sudden death scenarios too well up to now, I think she can still do it. She is one of the masters of manipulating sudden death. So I definitely do expect her to at least win a sudden death game if it does come to another one of those. Flyer does want to stay safe though. You don't want to lose early. Especially if it's due to your own mistakes. Losing games due to your own mistakes is always a bad way to go. When you know you could have survived, but you just did a bad move and everything did not work out. This game is ruthless. Any mistakes you do can be punished, and any good moves you do can be really good, but you could also get yourself killed as a result. Flyer is doing some good patterns, but Pengu is just not falling for them. Pengu is keeping her distance and not letting Flyer get any sort of easy kills. Oh, Bomber just actually just so barely dodged that. That was insane. Both players are now putting on some great pressure, and Flyer actually takes that. Pengu putting on some pressure, I do like that. Just going in and trying to counteract Flyer's kicking style. And that seemed to work pretty well until Flyer really got Pengu there at the end. So Pengu's aggression countered back on her. It didn't work. Like I said, Pengu is a survivor. She's not really known for her aggression or anything like that. She can play aggressively every now and then, but she is mostly just a survivor. Someone that plays the patterns and just does a good move every now and then and gets her victories that way. I didn't expect Pengu to be the aggressor in any of these games, but it's nice to see a bit of fresh air from a player that isn't normally known for doing something, and she is now doing exactly what she's not known for. I'm not sure if this is just adapting to their opponent or not. I don't think this is any sort of adaptation. It's just sometimes you're gonna throw your opponent off guard by doing something weird that they're not expecting. It can work every now and then, especially if your opponent knows you very well, or if they think that they know exactly what you're doing. Oh, Pengu just got the bomb on the bottom row. Flyer thought he was gonna be safe there, but Bomber blocked it off. It is now 3-3. Are we going to get to all 9 games today? This might be very exciting if it does go all the way to the final game. Usually whenever these matches get played, a best of 7, the most likely scenario, the most likely result is a 4-2 if both players are good, and the most likely result of a best of 9 is a 5-3 if both players are also great. I mean, the next player to win might be the ultimate champion, but you never want to call these things too early. The chances are one thing, but there are always counter chances. Anyone can beat anyone in any game. There isn't one ultimate player in this game. There's not one player that just knows how to defeat their opponent. There are a lot of really good players, but there's no one ultimate player that wins it all. I used to think it was me at one point until I wasn't. Well, I think I still am, I'm just bad at handling pressure. If I was a bit better at that, I could definitely play better. But yeah, anyway. These players, Pengu and Flyer, they both likely really want this championship title, so they're playing really defensively. The next player to win a match will be having, well, not an advantage, but they will feel a lot better about it, because they will be one win away from potentially winning the entire thing. So you really want to win this game right here. If you're gonna win any games, it has to be this one right here. This is the one you really want to win. Flyer putting on some great pressure, but Bomber once again just staying away from all the action. Just putting down her bombs, looking to counter with some other bomb, and it goes to another sudden death. So far, Flyer has gotten the better of Pengu, but this time Pengu, early on in the sudden death, gets the kill on Flyer. So far there have been 3 sudden death games. 2 of them are won by Flyer, 1 of them were won by Pengu. It is now 4-3 to Pengu. Pengu is thus on match point. If she wins one more game, she will be crowned the champion. Will she do it though? That remains to be seen, because Flyer is definitely a fighter. Flyer will not give up until it's over. Pengu has maxed out on boosts already early on in the game. Not too much good luck on bombs and flame though, but she is getting to them. If there was one item to be maxed out on Thirst in a game of BombTag though, it would probably be either flame or boots. Bombs that are good, but you want that aggressive and defensive ability to pull it back. You want to either be able to dodge or to be able to put on enough pressure that your opponent decides to not be too aggressive against you. Both of these players are now maxed out. Will Flyer keep it calm? Will Flyer keep a steady hand? And will he pull it back to get the ultimate final match? The final match of the finals. Will we have a 4-4 result that ends in a 4-5 at the very end? Both of these players must be really nervous now, as BomberPengu just does exactly that. Which means this is now a 4-4. That's it. No more mistakes allowed. The final game. The next person to win a game will be the winner, unless it draws of course, because draws can happen. If it draws, we'll just have to play again. There is no tie, there is no draw, there's only winners in this game, in this match. You either win here, or if you draw, you play again until you find a winner. That's how a tournament goes. I can't believe this is going to a final game. I mean, there's lots of good finals out there, but the best finals are always the finals that end with all the games being played, because that really shows that both players played their heart out, and that both players know exactly what they were doing. Flyer missing a bit of boost right now, really hoping that he gets them. He is now receiving them. Still missing a couple. Bomber trying to put on some pressure to try to get Flyer early, but Flyer should probably get those final boots and then be on his way. It's always nice to see all the good matches end in their final game. Whenever a best of 7 ends with a 4-3, and especially whenever finals end with all the games being played. Those are always the most exciting. I don't even know what to say anymore. These games have been going on for 19 minutes now. These games have officially gone on for longer than both of the semifinals combined. That's how long these have been. I don't think they will be as long as the finals of the last tournament, because there were like 3 draws in it, and also sudden death was set to 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes. Kanto decided that 2 minutes is maybe a little bit too long for a sudden death phase, so he wanted to set it to 2 minutes instead. And as a result, there are a lot more sudden deaths in this match than there have been before. There's 1 box left. That box will not survive. And the final sudden death. Sudden death games always tend to end in someone's mistake. Or at least usually. This is the final game. This is where it all comes to play. This is where it all matters. Both of these players' hands must be shaking like hell right now. Neither one of them wants to lose it, but one of them is bound to lose it, one way or another. That was a scary situation for BomberPengu, but she survives. I cannot imagine what these players must be feeling right now. I would not want to be in their shoes. I mean, I would, as in I would love to play the finals, but I wouldn't want to feel what they're feeling. Their heart rate must be way beyond what it ever has been before. When it all comes down to one singular game, you either win here, or you lose it all. Or well, you don't lose it all, you get nothing. You either win it all, or you lose and gain nothing. This is it. The final game. This is looking to be a really long sudden death game. And neither player is looking to put on any form of super aggression whatsoever. Both players are looking to survive instead of win. It's a good strategy, but it's stressful. I can't believe we've reached a point like this. There were 24 people that joined the competition, 15 of which were strong enough to potentially stand here instead. There are at least 6.969 billion different universes where any of those 15 players could have reached the finals. But the universe we're in right now, the 2 that are in the finals, are these 2. And not just in the finals, but the final game of the finals, 1 game away from victory. Only one can be the champion. Thus goes the rule of the championships. 1 move, good or bad, will decide the fate of this series. And the fate lies with Flyerkid! Congratulations! Flyerkid is your BombTag Championships Ultimate Champion! He defeated all the odds, he survived all the pressure, and he survives the ultra stressful final game of the final series. Flyerkid is now the owner of the championship winner title and the receiver of $1,000 worth of prize money. And he could potentially go to Kazakhstan if he wants to as well. This was very well played and a very well deserved victory for our new BombTag Ultimate Champion. And with that exciting finals done, this is the end of the tournament. The reigning champion Pengu did not end up pulling out a double win, but being the runner-up is still very praiseworthy. She still played really well and deserves all the credit for this amazing finals. And Flyer, I hope you're proud. That was a really fun tournament to watch. Thank you for those finals. And without further ado, let's sign off BombTag Championships Ultimate. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed watching these results of this tournament unfold. And other than that, I hope you stay safe and have a good time. May we meet again one day. But until then, take care everyone.